Good morning, Zack. Thank you for your time. I guess we're about 2 weeks or so removed from learning that Pat Fryermuth is not going to be on the field for you guys again this year. You two came in together, known each other for a long time. What was your reaction to the news that Pat was out for the season, and how has he stayed an active member of that tight ends room, an active team captain, despite not being able to go compete with you out in the field?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pat and I came in together, and we've known each other feels like a while now. Getting going down the road, but you hate to see anyone have the game taken away from for the season or any injury. You hate to see anyone get hurt, so especially a guy who I'm close with. It stinks to see that, but he's really stayed involved with us. He still comes to everything. It's not like he's home alone. Like he's still involved. He's still with us and leading the team.
Audrey?
Hey, you got me? Okay. Zack, Coach Franklin had mentioned a few times this year that you'd been unavailable, you've been banged up. Was last week the first time that you've felt healthy this year? And if so, what was that process like getting to that point?
We don't really talk about injuries, so if there is a question about that, you can ask Coach Franklin.
What was last week? Was that like the first that you felt good? Because I mean, you're on the field.
Yeah, I was good to suit up last week.
Cool.
Donnie?
Zack, I mean, just watching Theo and Brenton last week, it looked like they're really improving as blockers. How difficult is that to come in, as young guys who are receivers in high school and come in and kind of add that kind of element to their game as quickly as they have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always a transition to come from high school to college, just as from a speed standpoint of the game, and especially going from a receiver more role to the blocking tight end role. So it's good for the future of our program to see guys being able to make that transition, and it's something our team needs and guys that can block well. So it's great for the team.
Greg, go ahead.
Hey, Zack, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for your time. Hey, just curious how you would define sort of your role at this point in Kirk Ciarrocca's offense and kind of how the tight ends are used in this offense compared to what you guys were used as in the past.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously there's some differences from how we ran some things last year opposed to this year, and that's going to happen when you have a new offensive coordinator. But we love Coach Ciarrocca and his plan. It's tough for any team when you don't have a spring ball, especially with the new offensive coordinator. But we worked all summer, we worked all the season, and we like what we have. We like our game plans. We like the plays that we're running. And so, I mean, as far as the tight end role, I think we have a great role in Coach Ciarrocca's offense, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Tyler?
Hey, Zack, we're just coming off a call with Will Levis, and that's another guy that you know well from coming in the same recruiting class. How did you see him handle that opportunity to get out there and get a start, and then Sean goes back in? How did you see Will kind of deal with these last few weeks? And then obviously he had some success against Michigan, scored a touchdown, was pretty effective on the ground. How do you think he handled all those circumstances?
Well, I think this year as a whole, for this whole team, and honestly the whole country, it's a year of battling with adversity, especially with COVID-19. And it's not just affecting one person; it's affecting everyone, and everyone's having their ups and downs. So like I said, it's a big year of battling through adversity and seeing how you respond to adversity. So I think it's a great year for everyone to grow and to feel uncomfortable in certain situations, and I think everyone will be better from it.
Audrey? Audrey, do you have another question?
Yeah, I think you got me now.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I got muted mid question. Zack, when you were looking, you look at this tight end room and all the guys in it, a lot of youth in there. What's impressed you about Theo Johnson and kind of how he's been asked to step into a role?
Mm-hmm. I think Theo's done a tremendous job, especially as a young guy. It's not always easy coming in and adjusting to an offense and being able to execute. And Theo came in with great size and he's a naturally gifted kid, and I think that helps him a lot. And I think he'll have a great career here at Penn State. And as he grows and learns more about the game, more than just about like run blocking or pass game and things like that, but understanding it on a whole nother level.
Peter Terpstra, go ahead.
Hey, Zach. When things are getting frustrating, maybe it's how the first 5 games of the season went, or injury issues, or pandemic, or being isolated, stuff like that. What do you do to combat your frustration, or maybe what does the team do to deal with frustrations?
Well, dealing with the frustration, I mean, we all have a certain standard for ourselves, and we go 1-0 every week, and that's our mentality. That's always been our mentality. And we have a process, and we follow through with that process, and we know that it's worked in the past, and we're going to continue to work through it. And we'll work through everything with each other, and we just take it one day at a time.
Greg?
Yeah, Zach, when you look at Rutgers on film, what do you see from them, and how do you think you guys can attack them this week?
Mm-hmm. I think Rutgers is a much more improved team in years past. And we know that, like I said, we look at every excuse me, we look at every game as its own. We try to go 1-0 every week, and we come into practice with the same mentality to win that day of practice. And we trust our coaches and the game plans they have for us. And I think we'll fare well this weekend, and because I know we're putting in the work and then putting in the time.
Ben?
Hey, Zach, thanks for your time this morning.
Yep.
How different were some of those blocking techniques heading into the year this year? And how have you seen kind of the offensive line kind of grow and adjust as the year's gone on?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, blocking, if you break it down to the basics, it's going to be the same. And so there's just slight adjustments that you make, and we've been able to make those. And I think the offensive line has done a great job this year, especially with, again, having a new coach as at offensive line and offensive coordinator. So, and again, not having the spring ball didn't necessarily help, I guess, as far as like chemistry wise and everything, but we've had a lot of time, and I think they've done a great job of adjusting, of learning the new things in the time that we've had, and being able to do what we've done.
David?
Hey, Zach, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, from your perspective, what are some of the ingredients to an offense that succeeds in the red zone, that plays well in the red zone?
Well, I think same as in executing in the red zone, same as executing in the middle of the field, backed up, or in any situation. It's each guy doing their 1/11th on the field, each guy winning their individual matchup, and if each guy is putting in that effort and wins their individual matchup, you'll like the outcome.
Tyler?
Yeah, Zach, looking at this tight end room as a whole, you talked about the competitiveness this offseason. To lose a guy like a preseason All-American and Pat Fryermuth and still feel pretty good about what you've got, what does that speak on the kind of the Tyler Bowen approach and the way this team is recruited at the position?
Mm-hmm. I think Coach Bowen's done a tremendous job of recruiting and bringing in guys who can play. I've said it before. I think we have a very, very talented tight end room, and it really stinks to have Pat out, but I still think there's guys that can step up in the roles and fulfill those roles and do what they need to do to help the team and to help the team win.
Peter?
There we go. So what do you think the rest of the season could do for this program going forward? If you guys are able to string some wins together, what kind of momentum do you think that could give the program?
Well, I think just taking it 1 week at a time is all we can do, and is what we should do, and it's what we have done and what we're going to continue to do. Just focusing on Rutgers this week, and then we'll move on from there.